Spring is in full swing, and if your yard is the unsightly one in the neighborhood, you know who you are. It might be time to start planning some changes around the house. So here to offer up some solutions is host of DIY Network's Desperate Landscapes, Jason Cameron. Jason, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
you know
it.
What? I like seeing a landscaper, good-looking landscaper, with a smile on his face, shows up on time, ready for work. That's
This is perma-grin. I always have a smile on my face.
It's working for you.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You've got some serious disasters on that show. I watch it all the time. What was the worst that you've seen?
Wow. You're going to start off with that one, huh? Man, the worst one. There's so many bad ones. I mean, where do I begin? There's so many bad ones. They are called desperate landscapes.
Yes,
and
they are.
we see so many of them. And like you said in your opener, you know who you are. I mean, the people out there know who they are.
Like seriously, do you show up at the house and just like, oh my, OMG? Like, what were you
all the time.
doing? Okay.
I'll show up and I'm ready to drive away. I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, we're going to do this in one day. But that's what it's all about. I mean, finding those people who stick out for all the wrong reasons, and the neighbors can't stand it anymore.
Exactly.
So we come in and ratify
to the rescue, and not just once but twice, because later on we're going to talk about how viewers can enter to get their own yard makeover. So we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
But when you talk about doing your own home makeover for your yard, you say that you have to start off with an action plan. So what is involved with the action plan?
It is so important to have a plan. We would not be able to do what we do on the show without a plan. So it doesn't have to be like a computer-generated plan. You don't have to get all professional.
Technical.
Yeah, I'm like, go old school. Get a piece of paper and a pencil. Sit down, draw your house out, circle squares, and then think, okay, what can I do to make this landscape interesting and more appealing? It might be as simple as like putting the larger plants towards the house and the smaller ones progressively smaller as you move away from the house, so you draw your eye to the front door.
So a little bit of a drawing beforehand so you can kind of map it out, as opposed to going and buying everything and then saying, what are we going to do?
Having a plan is crucial, and then having a budget is crucial. Now listen, we have a budget. I don't always stick to it, but we have a budget. The key is to try to stick to it. Yeah, no, we do. But the thing is like, you have to be realistic with your choices. It's one thing to watch a show, and we love the fact that people watch and get ideas, and that's the whole point, is to empower you, but be realistic in your choices and what you can afford.
Now being realistic when it comes to privacy, because there are some neighbors over here and over there sometimes like to show a little too much, and they get on your nerves. So how do you cover that up without making it look unsightly for your home?
This is one thing we've done a lot on the show, and it's been very successful for us. This right here is a good example. This is a boxwood. This is a wintergreen boxwood, or a Korean boxwood. And the nice thing about these is that they grow very dense. They get about 3 feet high, about 4 to 5 feet wide. They grow at about 2 to 3 inches a year. Real easy to maintain. So what we do is we dig a trench. So instead of digging individual holes, we'll dig a trench, and using a straight line. This is a real good example. Something as simple as this. Use a straight line, stretch it from one side to the other, gives you a nice straight line. You dig a trench, and you bury these in the trench.
And they make these grow taller. You can buy the ones that grow taller.
Exactly. You can get them in case you really don't want anybody to see. But what this does is it gives you a natural fence. And instead of going out and buying a fence and having somebody install it, you did it yourself. You save a lot of money, and it's a natural organic fence versus something that you had to go buy.
Now look, we've got paint here.
Right.
And you don't use it just for lots of paint. We don't use it just for the exterior. You use this for a lot of other different areas.
Well, there's a unique benefit to this paint right here. You've probably driven down the neighborhoods and seen those porches in disarray, right? You know what I mean? The paint's falling off. Yeah, you've seen it. So one of the biggest things we tackle all the time is repainting the porch. Now it's very simple. You invite your friends, your family over. Give them a paintbrush, clean and prep it, and then paint it. But the tricky thing is buying the right porch paint. Now, if you noticed on this one, this says porch and floor, right? So it's really important you get that.
Specific that you get these,
It's very specific, scuff resistant. This one right here has a skid knot, it's called. This has an additive in it, and you can feel that right there, that little swatch.
Yeah.
That's skid resistant. So they they sell them so that you can get an additive to put in. So it's
ones. Now we got to talk about this yard makeover before we go. So how do people get involved with that? Because a lot of people need help.
A lot of people need help. We know. But this is our 4th annual search for America's Most Desperate Landscape, and that's what we're looking for. Those desperate landscapes out there. So this is your opportunity, if you're one of them out there, to enter. So you've got until May 2nd to enter. And should I give them a little tip on how to enter, your viewers?
Go ahead.
All right. When you do a video, all right, we want to see your personality. Just like us, we want to see your personality. Have fun. We don't want you to do this on camera. Have fun.
Yeah, a little personality.
Show us how desperate your landscape really is.
Desperate.
Yeah. Well, some people are. So if you're that desperate, show us your personality. We want to see who we're dealing with, and you could be the one that wins a $25,000 makeover.
I like that. $25,000 versus being embarrassed on the show. It's always a good thing. All right. Thank you so much, Jason. Once again, if you want to enter to win your own yard makeover.